Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Chaotic Neutral Podcast. I am your DM, Caleb, and I am joined tonight by Amy.
Hi, I play Kiki, the cute, lovable rogue.
And Shane.
Hey, I'm Bert, and I do magics.
And Dan.
I'm Zerf. I'm a barbarian that's taking everybody on a wild ride right now.
And finally, David.
Kiki, Kai. Sorry.
Very, very sleepy, David.
I'm not playing Kiki. I'm playing Kai.
That might be a zany adventure, though, where everyone switches the characters they're playing.
Can we do that?
I'll put it.
Roll that one up for us, Caleb.
I'll put it in my idea notebook. Shit, I don't have any content this week. Freaky Friday.
No, we can't do that. He's gonna touch my boobs. My childlike boobs.
Yeah, if I roll Kiki, that's all I'm going to be doing. Shane, initiative. I'm busy.
Holding in my bunk. For those of you who missed last time, the party has finally reached a massive city, and as befits this party, they immediately split off from what the civilization wanted them to do. Kiki decided she wanted to not go to wherever these Berobit officials were trying to lead her, and Zerf decided to help her out with that plan, kicking their carriage off on a wild chase through the streets. Kiki jumped off of hers and went into hiding, where she's looking for some trouble. Bert is working with Saldoon, their Dragonborn friend, to try to stop the carriage, while Zerf is trying to egg the carriage onto a forested glade that's sort of set off within the city. And finally, Kai, who was left standing at the original checkpoint, hobbled away on his quarterstaff to find a smithy. So we're going to flash back to Kai first, because there was a slight change with the way David wanted to play a thing he has going on. Instead of taking 5 damage, he took 20, and he's now at 2 hit points. And the smith that you're working for sees that it's done and sees that it's great work. And he's like, "Are you okay? Do I need to call a doctor or a priest? Are you sure? I can't have an apprentice die or an assistant die. Not again. I'll take my license away." And
are there any tools laying around?
Yeah, I mean, his tools he's got set out. He's sort of, you guys have finished the work and put him away, or he's put him away.
Okay. Yep, I accidentally put my hand too close to one of them.
All right. It's a fairly crowded smithy. He's probably pretty close to the tool. Tell me high or low, David.
High.
Good or bad?
Bad.
So miraculously it flies right by his head and crashes through one of the windows, but it does not injure him or anyone else. It just, as soon as your hand gets close to it, it shoots off. And he looks very, very frightened.
Are you okay?
Who are you?
No one?
No, that's good.
I think you should go. And he drops 20 silver on the table, and then turns to go try to clean up the broken glass. So we'll go back to Kiki, who, like I said, was trying to find trouble, and she found it. She went to steal some guy's lunch, and he took offense and has called the guards down upon her. You see several guards running in to see what the commotion is. You have probably 6 seconds before they get to you.
What's around me? Is it like Just
It's
like picnic benches?
It's small tables with chairs, little trees planted in between the flagstones.
Any buildings? Any?
You're in the middle of a square like a food court with small food carts all around. It's fairly crowded with people.
Fuck. Shit. I'm gonna run.
Okay.
Jump on a food cart and surf it away.
I'm gonna Aladdin. I'm gonna Aladdin this shit up.
All right, acrobatics.
Fuck this shit. 13.
They're fast, but I'm much faster. Not really.
If I sing, will it help?
So you manage to jump up on one of the food carts, but you can't quite make the jump to the roof of a building. And you scramble for purchase, and you're hanging from the ledge, and they're closing fast. And we move on.
Okay.
We move on to Bert. The cart is moving along at a trot down the street. You can see Dragonborn soldiers chasing you down the street. They don't seem to have stirches yet, but they do seem to be interested in catching up to you guys. And Zerf seems completely oblivious to anything going on behind him.
So the cart's not like out of control, running down like it's gonna kill us all anymore. It's just
going at
along.
It's going at a steady clip, but it's no longer no longer zany speed.
Okay.
More regular travel at a
So now that everything's calmed down a little bit, I curl my fingers back up. I'm not pointing it at the bird anymore. I sit down on the seat. I look at Saldoon. I try to get him like give him a look. Like, okay, I think this is okay now. I turn to Zerf and say, "What the fuck is your problem?"
I was dragged
You could have
here.
killed all of us. Or at least
I
caused
wasn't
a lot
even
of
aware
property
you
damage.
guys were with me.
You weren't with. We told you to come with us.
I just thought I just took the stuff. I thought you guys were all behind me. I don't know. I was getting to where you guys wanted me to go. I didn't want to be here, so now I'm getting to where I want to be.
Well, plan successful. It totally worked. And I look around, and it's kind of miss the zany shit. So I grab the rein from your hand, and I just kick it.
I don't have the reins.
Yeah, no, he's
Oh, he doesn't have the reins anymore?
No, he was riding the entire time. He was just riding sort of the lead bird.
Oh, I thought you were like sitting on the stool or the seat of the carriage.
No,
Okay.
Lee Howe's up in this, or not Lee Howe. Saldoon's up in the seat trying to use the reins to control the team, but Zerf had control of the lead bird or the lead stirch and was using his animal handling to convince all the stirches to follow his lead.
I get it now. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, I had the wrong mental picture. I can't remember. That was last game.
That was so long ago.
So long ago.
It's been a week, guys. How's it been? I'm sorry, I'm stealing a joke from another podcast there. So do you do anything else?
No.
Okay.
I sit back, and I'm good.
Zerf.
How close are we to this force now?
You could probably get there in a turn. Are you just going to keep going there?
Yeah, that's all I'm doing. I'm just going there.
Okay. So you get there, and unlike the gates to the other districts, this one doesn't seem to be guarded. It seems to be open to anyone who wants to come.
And I go right in.
All right. So you guys go in, and there's like a.
I stopped the cart outside of it, and I walk in.
Okay. So there's a sort of a path that seems to lead into a little sitting area, but it looks like for the most part this area has been left. It's meant to appear like it's been left to go wild, but it is manicured to keep it from getting too overgrown and becoming like a fire hazard. I don't know if you guys have heard the idea of the art of artlessness, but that's what the people in charge of this district seem to be planning.
Okay.
But you hear...
It will suffice for now.
It was picky.
Saldoon looks at Bert. At least the cart stopped.
Yeah, we only lost 2 guys trying to get it to stop.
I guess
Hopefully they don't wander outside of the city.
I guess we'll wait for the soldiers. Or the officials. Whoever comes for us.
I guess we'll just wait here then. Yeah, that's
Kiki.
what he does.
Yes.
Give me a acrobatics.
Excuse me.
Suck a dick.
So the guards like come up and they're like almost gonna grab your ankles, and you vault up onto the roof, do a flip. You can embellish this however you want, and tear off down the rooftops, leaping nimbly from rooftop to rooftop, and over, if you wish, over the wall to the edge of the ward, at the edge of the ward.
No, no, I don't want to leave the area. I want to like get far enough away where I can hide.
Okay, so give me a stealth. It's gonna be really hard to hide with that cat meowing.
28.
So Assassin's Creed style, you like jump off of a roof and find a bench and sit down on it, pretend to be bored, and the guards, Scooby-Doo style, all run by. Where'd she go? And they don't notice you. You have dropped your threat level.
Just didn't
No,
know
Lee
where
Howe.
to land.
Lee Howe parts the curtain, kind of looks outside. Where are we? And, oh! The Northern Forest District. There's some beautiful gardens in there. Bert.
So we're stopped, right? We're not moving anymore?
Yep.
Okay,
Zerf stopped the cart and parked it outside the garden district.
I get down, I straighten my robes out. I look in the window at Lee Howe. It's like, is this the place you were talking about? Do I see cherry blossoms?
No, I was talking about this to Zerf as one of the pristine forest locations where you can meditate amongst nature. I prefer to meditate amongst a different nature altogether. That's a few wards to our south.
Okay. Zerf, you okay staying here by yourself for a little while, meeting up with us
He's
later?
out of earshot. He like
Oh, he's not even around
Yeah,
anymore.
I'm gone.
he like dived into the undergrowth.
Disappeared.
Nature.
It's like, well, I guess we can leave. We're not going to find him. He'll show up later. He'll be fine.
So do you take control of the cart?
I think
Could
probably
Saldoon do that?
Saldoon does that. Yeah,
Okay.
I ride.
Zerf. Do you just sort of set up camp?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll take you out of initiative for now. Saldoon. Saldoon decides that it's gonna get everyone in the least amount of trouble if we all just stay put and wait for them to give us our quarters and our passes to go to the districts we can go to, so we don't get in any more trouble. He'd rather deal with the soldiers than the civilian officials, and the soldiers are almost there, and he figures, better the devil you know, right? And so he sort of jumps down off the cart and waves at the soldiers, and you can see him swagger over, and they're having a discussion that you can't really hear. Kiki, you've lost your pursuers.
Mm-hmm. I need to hang out around people because I need some information.
You're still in a luxury market district.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a lot of commerce going on around you. But you're nowhere near the food court area now. But you can overhear conversations too.
I need to keep an ear out for talk. The rich guy that everybody hates, type of. You know?
Okay, like a shopkeep or.
It doesn't matter. Somebody in the rich district that's a douche. He's just a rich douche.
Okay. Roll me a. I hate that they got rid of Streetwise and gather information. So I guess investigation. Since you're actively searching this information out.
17.
Okay. So you overhear a few people talking about their neighbor in the 3rd Western Residential District, who's a lesser scion of House Lavalian, but he throws around the family name like it's no other. And they're talking about how they heard that he hired bandits to chase the villagers out of this town so that he could buy up all the rights and mine it. Which, he's an elf. What does he even need with the minerals? Like, he's just a money-grubbing son of a bitch. Besides, I had interests in that region, and now they're just fucking asshole.
Okay.
And I don't much care for his cousin either. That Porcius Tullius, if he wasn't a senator, he'd get a knife in his back so fast.
A senator? Huh?
You can roll me intelligence if you want.
Probably not.
You don't remember who Porcius Tullius Lavalian is.
I know who that is.
Oh, shit! And I do remember.
So that
Okay.
if you remember, then Kiki remembers. That was for me to
Okay.
tell you who he is.
That's
So
that.
they're talking about a cousin of his.
You have his nails.
Uh-huh. Took a second.
No,
Yep.
you have Salion's nails.
Well, no,
Who's
I mean
another-
cousin.
Who's another cousin of
Oh, okay.
Lavalian. Elves, being as long-lived as they are, tend to develop a lot of different relations.
You get around.
Can I figure out where they live? This guy. This
Uh,
Italian guy lives.
yeah. Roll me perception.
Should have rolled actual perception. I don't actually know what I add to that. Oh, there it is. 19.
Judging by their badges, you figure that they live in, like they were saying, the 3rd Western Residential District. And you can, if you want, you can tail them back there and figure out which of their neighbors they were talking about. So roll me a stealth.
Uh, 24.
Okay, you successfully tail them. They do some shopping, and it seems like the MO around here is, I'll buy 20 bolts of that silk. My factor will talk to you in the morning about it. And they don't ever actually carry any of the goods they buy. They just sort of
Mhm.
and they don't exchange any money either. It's all done intermediaries. They just make the decision. So after they're done shopping, they wander out into the avenue, down a couple, and into another walled ward with palatial manors that seem to be sprawling on their own grounds with gardens, multiple tiers. Some seem to have little religious shrines in them. And they go down a street where there are sort of three of them. They go to one on either side. And the one in the center seems ostentatious even by the standards of this neighborhood. Everything is gilded. And it's the other houses are done in sort of the Xerian human-based style of sort of squat square buildings with flared balconies and almost conical roofs, very sloped roofs. This manor is very clearly done in a high elven style, very graceful, slender towers and bridges connecting them, and almost none of the structures are actually on the ground, which has been left to manicured gardens. And you have to use portals to go from the ground up to the bridges, which you think are keyed to specific servants and guests. You probably have the ability to climb them. So that's going to occupy Kiki for a while, getting to that point. So Li Hao is like, can we go? Why are we sitting here? What's going on? But he doesn't seem inclined to get out of the cart and actually drive it. You're not sure he knows how. And he won't be seen walking in a great city like this. The scandal. So it's
Those
Bert's
dirty
turn.
tabloid rags tear me apart.
You have no idea, Bert.
So I'm standing there with my hands on my hips and just like indicating towards Saldoon, like, well, he's like talking with his old boys club. So I size up the cart. I'm like, can I drive this thing without him?
Roll
I'm kind of considering taking off without him.
me a charisma.
I got an 11.
You are competent enough to get it moving in the direction you want to go. You kind of miss a couple turns, but Li Hao manages to guide you to a district where all of the houses, they're like tiered pagodas surrounded by gardens. There are a lot of areas for sleeping, and you hear music, and there are bars, and he guides you to one that has a giant cherry blossom tree, or cherry tree, seems like it's been almost magically enhanced to make it this big, that looms over the rest of the structure that's built in and around it.
Mm. Before I take off, though, I yell at Saldoon. It's like, we're leaving!
And
Get on or stay here!
And he wait a minute, and turns around, and then by the time he actually finishes his conversation, you're gone.
Yep, screw him. He knows where we're going.
So when you get to the house of the cherry blossoms, the hostess says you don't have your passes, and Li Hao just goes, "Come on, you remember me? Just let me in." And she goes, "Oh, you," and goes, "Of course, you can have your garden," and ushers you guys back to a garden. Gets food and drink out. Beautiful women come and hang themselves on you, and basically you can take any of them aside anytime you want, because that's the sort of establishment this is.
Hmm.
So that'll keep you occupied for a while. I'm
going to show up, but I'm intent on leaving immediately.
Okay. Go ahead and make me
That'll be another turn. Oh,
Okay.
Wisdom check?
It'll be a
Same.
charisma save.
Okay. 15.
Okay, so yeah, your strength of will is strong enough to resist the temptations of this place. So next turn, next time around you can leave. So we've kind of got where everyone's going to be for the time being. I'm trying to think of how to do this. So we'll add...
Yeah, I think we just screwed up the whole game.
no, I just...
Everybody parted ways.
Because this was going to happen eventually. I built it into the design of it. I just have to find Kai again so I can add him a turn. Okay. And then we'll remove Saldoon from the turn list and Li Hao from the turn list. Okay. So we will go back to Kai. You have 2 hit points. You've been kicked out of that smithy. And you're...
I left this over there, but...
Okay. At this point, it's getting towards nightfall.
I sort of lean on my quarterstaff pretty heavily and just kind of wandered towards the center of town.
Okay. So you leave the southern, the lower merchant's quarter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you take sort of the main routes, or do you try to go through the wards?
I think I would take the main route.
Okay. You don't run across any checkpoints until you get to the complex at the center of town, which is huge, and there are guards in very ornate mail guarding the closed gates to that area. And the one who seems to be their captain says, "Sorry, old man. Invitation to the palace is invitation only." Do you need us to find you a healer?
Li Hao, do you know?
The poet's been exiled. We haven't seen him in years.
Exile.
I hear he's been out at the edge of the world, Krasang province. The consort is not happy with him.
I guess they didn't forget about that limerick.
Excuse me, exiled.
Well, if you know Li Hao, I'm sure he told you. He loves to tell that story.
I'll have to ask him. Do you know his favorite haunts?
Well, he tends to stay in the pleasure districts when he's here. I think he has a house somewhere. I mean, this is his family's ancestral home, but I don't think he ever frequents that house. Unfortunately, you don't really have a pass to be anywhere other than the lower merchant's quarter.
I was separated from him.
You travel with the poet?
Yes.
Yes.
And he's here.
Uh-oh.
I think so.
And he sort of goes over to one of the guards, says something. The guard dashes into the hut, and you see another one of those little winged reptiles fly up and wing off into the palace complex. And the captain says, "Come, old man, please. You look like you're on death's doorstep. Please come inside and have a drink. You know, we have tea. You can warm up.
Okay.
And you can rest your weary old bones."
Thank you. Out of game. When I was at the smithy, did I notice anything with the bracelet working with the fire?
You noticed that you could, if you willed it, stoke the fires a little hotter. That you just exercised a little bit of will and they grew hotter than they would have been, and you were able to control the temperature with much greater precision than you could with just the bellows alone.
Okay.
Like, you didn't even need the bellows to modulate the temperature.
Okay.
Kiki.
What?
You found your way to the manor of one of the Lavalians.
Can I get in?
How do you plan to? There's a low fence around the perimeter, and then slender spires and several raised platforms above it.
Well, I need to go towards the back, so I'm not seen.
Okay. So you walk around the outside of the fence?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Roll me your perception. You don't notice any guards at all. You do know, and the manors next to it, you notice have lots of guards, just sort of standing watch. You managed to sneak through the underbrush, but you note where they are. You get the sense that he's got wards up.
Mm-hmm. I probably have no idea how to deal with that, do I?
Well, you're a rogue. Are you trained in Arcana?
No.
So, I'm going to say that because you're a rogue, you have knowledge in both magical and physical traps. So you can use investigation to identify them and sleight of hand to disable them.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and do that if you want.
Come on, Kiki.
You can do it.
A 10 for
Apparently
investigation.
Well, these wards aren't very well hidden. He doesn't think anyone's going to bother to look for them. So there's a ward that surrounds the entire fence, and then you can spot that the portals themselves are warded. That if you try to go through one of the portals without the token, that a token of his, that it'll send you to an oblette,
A what?
a magical prison.
Ah.
Is there any way of getting
I thought-
around that?
You can disable the ward, or do you mean the portal?
Whatever I need an item to get into.
The portal, you don't have the magical know-how to disable that. However, you think you could just climb the towers.
Okay.
So first, I need
get into this house.
a sleight of hand to disable the fence ward.
Oh, shit.
Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. 9.
Caleb getting close to the screen.
There's bad doings transpiring. Heavy typing. Oh shit! What's happening?
I had to remember
So
the command
nervous.
for what I want to do.
Okay.
So your total was 8.
9.
Okay. Roll me a perception.
Fuck that. Fuck it.
You know that you triggered the ward. No, you don't hear any alarm, but you can feel just a very faint wave of magical energy go off.
Run, change your clothes, change your name.
What do I know
Get the hell out of
what does that do?
From what you can tell, it just seems to be an alarm that someone has crossed the perimeter of your fence. You don't know what's connected to that, but it doesn't have any... These wards don't typically identify anything, they just give a heads up.
Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take Pete 2 and and put him, I don't know, somewhere around this where it looks like he's the one who disturbed the ward.
And you're gonna hide nearby.
And you're
Uh-huh.
going to go in the house?
Roll me a stealth.
I'm gonna attempt to not run.
Come on. All right.
Oh, 22.
Okay. Who should I put in charge of this? Amy. High or low?
In my favor or yours?
Whichever one you choose will be in your favor.
Low.
Okay. So,
Ooh.
out of the portal come several physical guards, accompanied by sort of shadowy shapes that you have trouble making out. They look like they're made of just pure energy, but they seem to be following the guards about, obeying their orders. And they come over and they're searching, and I need to see if they spot you. You rolled a 22.
Mm-hmm.
They don't spot you or Pete, for that matter. And
Jeez.
must have been a false
These guys
alarm.
paid.
And they, well, I mean, there's nowhere to hide inside the grounds, really. Like they sort of scour the grounds. And they don't see anything amiss. Probably because Pete's like in a bush asleep or something. And so they head back into the portal.
All of them?
Yes. And you can feel that the ward is back up.
Okay.
Try again.
Oh, do you want me to keep going? I always want to pause in case he
Try
cuts me off.
again.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Bert.
Okay, so we're in the pleasure house. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, and you're
Alright.
you're making your excuses and leaving.
Yeah, so I'm just like shrugging off the whores and not really interested in the liquor anymore. I'm gonna go try to find that religious requilary, that temple library, whatever it is. And
Okay.
do I have enough information to find it on my own, like from what they told me, or did I see it on my way up here?
No, you haven't really had any guides around the city. Lee Howe
Okay,
was
so-
kind of sulky for a lot of the ride when he wasn't being tossed about. So you can do, depending on how you want to figure it out, you can do an investigation, or if you just want to try to wander about, you can just do a raw wisdom check.
I think either way it's going to be. Well, how about I ask would the barkeep there or the owner of the establishment know? Would he
She
be
might.
out there?
The matron might, yeah.
All right, I'll ask the matron if she knows where that is. Do I do a
She-
charisma check?
No.
Or s-
She
Okay.
she makes some innuendos about worship and why do you need to go see the gods, but she will tell you that she'll give you directions to the religious quarter,
Okay.
and essentially you get the sense that they don't really care what religions there are. They're all to remain in their own walled area,
Beautiful.
but the rest of the city is for commerce and study. And so if you're looking for a temple that has a library, that's where you would go.
Okay. So I look at Lee Howe, I give him a peace out, and I bolt.
And he kind of does the, yeah, bye. Sort of like waves, but not really looking at you.
Yeah. Okay. Jerk.
So
I expected more from him.
so like I was saying with Kai, it's getting close to nightfall. So are you going through the wards, or are you taking the avenues between them?
What do I have to roll to get a feel for which places are being patrolled more?
You know that there are checkpoints at the entrance and exit to every ward, but the main avenues don't seem to be that heavy. Like they're not. There are guards all over the place, sort of maintaining order, but they don't seem to be paying too much attention to who's traveling along the main avenues. It's who's going into what wards, and those you can tell that the richer wards, the upper class merchant wards, the rich residential wards, the scholar wards, and the pleasure wards seem to have the most scrutiny, whereas they don't. They have sort of token guards posted on the poorer wards.
I'm guessing the religious wards would be, or the temple wards would be pretty lax about who goes in and comes out.
You wouldn't know until you get there. Because on the one hand, they may not care that much about gods. On the other hand, the temples maybe have pushed for more protection because they have valuable relics.
Mm. Okay. Before I leave, I'm going to ask her, the madam or matron or whatever. Is there a special code word? Do I have to have a pass to get there? This place seems pretty locked down.
Well, travel into and out of the wards typically requires a pass. We let you guys in because of your, your special features.
Ah, very cool.
Very special features.
So I'm just flash some hog and you can get right through. I'm just gonna take that with me as I need to show my membership bracelet and I'll be okay.
All right.
So I'm going through the main drag.
Okay, you get into the temple ward. The guards, you get the sense they're keeping an eye on people, but not really. There's no inner view of why are you coming into this ward. There's no real close inspection of passes, and the guards look like they're about done for the day. Like they're doing the equivalent of checking their watches. And the temple district itself is, like most of these other wards, is laid out in a grid, and the temples seem to have max square footage that they can take up on the ground. They have no height restriction, so there are a lot of towers and pagodas. And there seem to be temples to all sorts of deities and things. Like there's one temple that you're pretty sure is just a shrine to candles.
Whatever you want to worship, I don't care. I'm going to kill you all. Where can I use my book to find something that might be apropos to what I'm looking for?
Just go ahead and roll me a investigation.
Damn. 11.
You find a temple to a god of knowledge, and they invite you in and tell you that you can peruse their libraries for the gift of a book.
I have no book to give you.
You have one.
This is not a book for anyone but me.
Well, then, until you have a book, that you can give us.
Would you like to read it? Would you like to look at it?
It's part of our God's duty. We can copy it and return it to you.
That would be fine. That would be fine.
Really?
Eyes closed, looking around.
It takes one clerk to copy it down, and he goes stark raving mad in the time it takes him to do that.
It's just like, I told you. I told you didn't want this book.
And it takes them all night to do that. So they put you up in quarters, and they tell you that once the book is copied, then you can have unlimited access to the library. And that since it's after nightfall, you can't leave the ward.
Okay. So does anybody else see him go nuts? Or is he by himself when he's copying this down?
He's by himself. And the next day they hand you the book back, and they say that they found him in the corner, just rocking silently, and there was mad scribblings all over the walls.
It's a good read.
Zerf.
Is anything happening with my bracelet that I'm in this earthy area?
Are you trying to get it to do anything?
I'm not going to say I'm trying because I really don't know what it is. It was thrown on me and not really explained what was going on. But do I notice anything happening while I'm around?
No.
Okay.
Like I was saying earlier, you feel an affinity towards the earth and the soil, but just feeling that affinity, there's no other effect that's just like passive.
Okay. I'll throw some dirt on it.
And you add some dirt to your colorful collection.
Perfect. I guess I want to see what's around, see if there's anything I can use.
You found yourself in sort of... You get the sense that this has been sculpted to look like a real forest, but it's been set up so that there are these little secluded glades with rocks to sit on. And if you just sort of wander around, you run into several couples that are out strolling. You interrupt a couple trysts. And every time they react the exact same way. They get outraged. They start to get really pissed at you and seem like they're going to call for the guards, and then they see your bracelet and immediately turn contrite, just like that. The more noble ones still seem offended, and they're coolly polite, and ask you to leave and ask why you haven't presented yourself to the lords of the city. Whereas the ones that seem to be from poorer districts just try to get through it without incurring the wrath of someone more powerful than them. I don't know exactly what else you do while you're in the garden district.
I mean, the gate's wide open. Do I see anything that would interest me outside the gate?
Just the roads. Unless you wanted to wander to find another district similar, or some other district altogether. You're kind of actually not in the middle of the city, but you're pretty close.
Yeah, I'll wander, see what else I can find.
Okay, so you slip out the gates just before sunset, and you find yourself on completely deserted streets after the sun is set.
And everything, I'm guessing, around me is closed?
All the gates to each of the wards are closed. Kai, after you've been sitting there for a little while, the lead guard says, "Are you one of the heralds?" Supposedly, the poet entered with several heralds of the architects, and they promptly refused the escort that they were provided. But there are quarters set up for you and passes that we can provide you for free travel throughout the city. But we don't know where anyone is.
I was walking along the side.
Okay, well, unfortunately, you don't have a pass, so we'll have to escort you out of the city.
Okay.
Because your pass says that you don't live here, and residents are not, unless you have a lodging in one of the out of town districts, one of the visiting districts.
Don't show them your bracelet. Just kick their asses.
I was trying to get a smithy job.
Huh. Do you have a residence here within the city lined up?
That's what Leah was helping with.
But you say you're not with him.
No, just traveling with him.
Okay. Well, we should still put you up in the lodgings that we have set up for them. We
Do we
can
have
show
to roll
you.
for this to persuade him?
What are you trying to persuade him of?
Just my story.
No, he's trying to figure out what to do with you. And so he's kind of decided that since even though you're not a herald of that if you're with Li Hao, then you must fall under the same orders that apply to Li Hao and the herald. So you should go in the lodging that's set up for you there. And so he's going to have someone escort you to that house.
Okay.
Do you resist that?
No, I don't. But
Okay.
it takes me a while to get there.
And they're patient. You're given an escort through the streets, which now that it's nightfall, like I said, are completely deserted. And you head out. You kind of lose yourself in the grid a little bit, and they take you into a ward that seems to have large palatial estates, and you're shown to a house that has the feeling that has been vacant for a long time, but there's recently been someone in who's, cleaned it up and turned out the sheets and that sort of stuff, and they tell you to make yourself at home, and then 2 of them are left guarding the entrance to the estate.
Okay.
And you have some servants at your disposal. Kiki.
Okay, I'm gonna need to try and do that again.
All right, so give me a sleight of hand.
That's better.
23.
That is much better.
So you figure out where the trigger was last time, and you manage to disable it real quick in such a way that it doesn't actually set off the ward. And so you can cross over the fence now.
That was just to get over the fence.
Yeah, that was the perimeter alarm.
Okay. I need to try to get in the house.
Yeah, so it'd be an acrobatics or an athletics to climb the towers to the raised platforms.
Oh,
Nailed
shit.
it! What a waste.
So you parkour. If anyone was there to see, they would be just aghast.
Kind of like a Jackie Chan thing.
Yeah.
Here comes Super Cop.
You find yourself on a raised platform on the outside of one of these towers. There are bridges leading to 2 other towers, as well as the central platform that seems to have a portal on it. And there's an entrance into the tower you're in. There are no doors. They all seem to be just sort of arches. The tower you're in seems to be like a bedchamber, but it's vacant.
Oh crap, he's not even home, is he?
Just wait under the bed.
You got a canopy bed?
This could be a guest chamber, but Yeah, he has a canopy bed.
Do I know if it's his room or is it obviously a guest?
Roll me just a quick investigation.
17.
You find some items suggesting that this is his room.
And it's nighttime, right?
It's right after nightfall.
Okay. And if he has a canopy bed, I'm gonna go ahead and hang out on top of the canopy.
Okay. Roll me a
Yeah.
stealth. You have advantage.
14.
And you can roll
Oh,
that a
wait.
second time if you want.
Oh, never mind. That's not advantage anymore. It's not a +2.
Correct.
So that was only a 12.
Okay.
Let's try that again. That's better. We'll take
Oh, that'll
that.
kick some ass.
23.
Okay. So you end up waiting for a few hours, and you can hear commotion throughout the house. At one point there's a few maids that come in and like turn the bed down and light some they don't light any candles, but they seem to activate some runes. You think there's one that's a bed warmer rune, and you think there's some runes for ambient sound and light and that sort of shit. And about 11 o'clock or so, you hear a disdainful voice arguing with someone. He sort of appears mid-sentence, complaining about the upkeep of his private laboratory and how, what's the point of giving servants tokens to enter the lab if they're not even going to bother cleaning properly? And when they do clean, they mess up all of my arcane experiments. And I'm a very important arcanist, I'm going to be known for it. And whoever he's talking to, you get the sense they're like, I believe you, sir. I'm sorry. We'll. And so he comes into his room, and you can feel him activate something in the arches that seems to prevent sound or people from entering or leaving, but it leaves the breeze able to flow through. And he rants and raves a bit to himself about how no one appreciates his genius, and in a clan as big as Lavalian and as great as Lavalian, how's he going to make his mark? And this is ridiculous, and Uncle Porcius really, really should trust him more. But it'd be fine if that stupid village would just give him the mineral rights. He wouldn't have to hire these bandits. And then he finally settles down and goes to sleep.
You're just gonna fuck with this whole family, aren't you, Kiki?
Yeah. I'm gonna wait a little bit till I feel like he's, asleep better.
Okay, he is an elf, so it's more like he goes into a trance.
Okay.
But he is out of it.
I'm gonna stealth down and slit his throat. I'm gonna pop my hood up and then jump down and slit his throat.
Okay, roll me a stealth.
23.
Hang on one second. He doesn't notice you. He's sitting in the center of his bed, cross-legged, just zoning out. And you sneak up on him, and you just go behind him and just cleanly slice and drop.
Mm-hmm.
So you do that, and you can feel the barriers that were sort of blocking off this room fall. And roll me a quick perception. Okay, you don't notice anything else.
Is there anything in the room or on him that's this is his, nobody else touches it, this is his little, a necklace, a ring, something that's,
On his person?
Yeah, or that he took off right before, he went to bed, that it's this identifies him type of thing?
He has a signet ring. He also has 2 long fingernails with the family crest.
I'm gonna need those.
So do you just break the nails off, or do you take the fingers?
No, just the fingernails because I have the other ones.
Okay. Do you leave the signet ring?
No.
Okay. So do you do anything else?
I'm curious about this alchemy lab.
Yeah, go check that out.
Yeah, I kind of really want to go do that.
Okay. Where do you go?
Badges.
Well, I'm gonna leave the room and see if I can sneak about to find it.
Okay. Roll me a stealth.
Leave a trail of dead maids in your wake.
20, 30 numbers, Caleb.
28.
As you're
Lots of numbers.
As you're leaving his room, You press yourself up against the wall real quick. Guards come running in. And immediately, the master's dead. Search the grounds. And start fanning out. You manage to evade them with that roll. But they're on the hunt.
Are they in the room?
There's one in the room. And you can see that he is seems to be in telepathic communication with someone else.
He can't see me?
No, you're hidden.
Is he facing me or like behind? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where is he?
He's fixated on the body.
So his back's to me?
Yeah, more or less.
Can I... Shit. Can I take him out? Can I just, like... I want to kill him. I need to take him out without killing him.
You have a chloroform rag anywhere?
Is there something heavy, like a big candlestick?
Well, you can choose to do your damage as subdual, which is non-lethal. Like non-lethal damage, where you choose to.
I'm no interest in.
Instead of killing him, you choose to knock him out. Is basically how that works.
He's a guard. I'm into killing, but I don't feel like I want to kill him.
So stealth to get up to him.
$16.
Oh, shit.
He catches movement out of the corner of his eye, and you can tell he's still in telepathic communication, but he yells, and you get the sense that he's yelling this through the psychic link too. The killer's still here! To the master's room immediately!
Graham.
Okay.
Dive out the window.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
One dive.
Immediate change of shit. I'm gonna go straight head out the window.
Okay. Roll me in acrobatics.
24.
Okay, you don't take any damage from the fall.
23.
And I'm going to say you actually managed to leap straight to the outer wall of the ward, because he was up against the back edge of it.
And I just keep going.
Okay. So you slide down the other side, and you're in one of the broad avenues. It's well after nightfall. Well, it's middle of the night now.
And I can sneak around back to where I started.
Okay. You.
Where I
Sorry.
back to where I split from the group.
Okay. You get there, and that square is completely deserted. There are several guards guarding the main gate out of the city, which is closed, and all of the gates into the wards around this square are closed as well. Then you noticed on your way, you had to evade several patrols on the main avenues, and all of the ward gates you've seen have been closed.
Okay.
So we will go to Bert.
Well, I'm just kind of hanging out in my room, right?
Yeah, I guess it's going to be till morning till you figure out what's in the book.
Do they lock me in my room? I mean, can I not leave or something?
You're allowed to go to services or whatever, but they won't let you in the library. And you can wander the district, but if you try to leave the district, you find all the gates are closed. That's why you get the sense that's why they gave you a room.
Here's a question: if I perform a 1-hour ceremony, I can get my book back if I've lost it, and it destroys the original and it manifests in front of me. If I do that, will they know what's up?
Hard to say.
Shit. I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So,
perform
like-
the ritual.
At like 3 in the morning.
Yeah,
That's-
I'm
that's
gonna. Yeah.
We have an extra player.
Oh, look at that! Oh. Okay. Yeah. So that's because I can't sleep. I'm sitting up there thinking about all the cool shit in that book. Maybe that'll save the guy from going completely
Okay.
nuts.
And there's no roll there, right? No, he's gone. He's done. He's insane. Because they,
It's over. It's over.
yeah, they
Okay,
they find him like that the next morning.
Okay, then. Yeah, I do that. And I take the book back. So all that's going to be left is his copy, a pile of ash, and his crazy butt writing shit on the wall with poop.
They don't know. They think that he finished it and gave the book back to you. They don't know that
Okay.
the copy they have is unfinished.
Okay.
And so the next day they'll allow you into the library.
Score.
Kai is back at the house. Do you do anything? You notice that there is a small smithy.
You want to roll them dice?
You're at 2 life.
There's also a little pond with a fountain in it that you can dabble your feet in if you choose.
I go towards the smithy.
It's small. It seems to be meant mainly for like mending armor or weapons or whatever. There's not a lot of ability to really construct anything massive here.
No, anybody around me?
No, the servants are all in bed. They've instructed you on how to summon them, but they're asleep.
I keep trying to grab the tools.
And you completely fuck up the smithy as they... Every time you go to grasp one, it flies out of your hands and smashes into something else. After about 10 minutes, it looks like someone came in and just raged at the end of a drunken bender.
I wish my
go to
character
the
knew
fountain
about
after
this.
that. I give up and go to the fountain. Just trance out for the next 4 hours.
So, Zerf, are you just walking down the streets as bold as you please?
Yeah, pretty much. That's all I really can do.
Okay.
Everything's closed off.
Shortly after you left the Garden District, a patrol meets you, and they recognize you and bow and offer to lead you to the quarters that have been set up for you.
Alright, I guess. Unless they'll let me direct me to another garden area. Or wild.
They actually tell you that it's the gardens are closed. The parks are closed after nightfall. Or not after nightfall, but after a certain hour. And right now it's like middle of the night. And so they'll take you back to the same manor that David's at, which is surrounded by substantial grounds with gardens. So
Okay.
you can find yourself a nice, quiet, naturey place if you wish.
Alright. I'll go back.
Kiki.
Yeah.
An alarm's been raised citywide that a lord, a noble, has been killed in his bedroom, and a small person, small female, was seen in the same area. She was an intruder in his quarters.
Uh-huh.
You need to cut your hair and wrap your chest and masquerade as a boy.
And guards are now searching the streets earnestly.
I don't know what to do. Like, I have no idea where anybody is.
Well, you can probably roll an insight to see where people would go, right?
She doesn't know the city.
What?
She doesn't know the city.
Yeah.
That's true.
You could show off your beautiful jewelry on your wrist and say, "Take me to where we were supposed to go."
Yeah, can I find where... Shit.
Is there like a mall map, like you are here, Lee Howe's house is here?
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Roll me just a straight D20. There's a flat-out roll.
No.
Okay. Okay, high or low in your favor?
Hi.
You wander the streets and you don't find anyone else.
Okay, so... Are there buildings around me? Tall buildings?
The walls to the wards.
Tall enough where if I'm hanging out on top of one, people can't see me?
You'd have to be really careful because there are watch posts at the corners of each ward, so if they're looking out across, they'd see you on the roof of the next one.
Are there trees I could hide in?
Not really. They're just
Are there sewer grates I could hide in?
You can evade the patrols. Basically, if your goal is to just sort of make it till morning.
Could I figure out where Pete went?
Big Pete?
Big Pete.
Roll me. I guess investigation.
It's 15.
So you can follow the course of the carriage when it was galloping towards the sort of nature preserve. That I'm gonna say you actually get there about dawn. Like the city's starting to wake up, and the gates to that preserve are opening up for the morning.
Okay, I need to get in there.
Okay. You managed to get in just fine. The guards are not quite awake.
Okay, I'm gonna go hang out with Pete.
Okay.
Snuggle.
Pete's not in there.
What?
Well, because
That's where I
that's-
took the cart to.
that's where the cart stopped, and then it went on a much more measured pace to the pleasure district. But you're on the opposite end of town from where you murdered your dude.
Can I, like, keep following tracks, or am I just done with that?
Go ahead and roll me another investigation.
10.
Yeah, you lose the trail. Like, it was pretty easy when it was weaving all over the place and you could find the tracks in the median and see where it scraped up against the walls. But once they sort of had control of it,
Okay, so it's morning. People are awake. Are the people around?
yes.
I'm
And
done with this shit, and I show off my armband to whoever the fuck's around.
and you almost immediately they're not guards, but the guards are like, please wait here, and then the nobles come and they apologize that you had to spend the night out away from your lodgings, and they know how traumatic it must be, and they're really sorry for the inconvenience, but if you could please follow them to your quarters, they have a lovely house set aside for you. They're sure you'll be comfortable there.
Where's Pete?
We don't know a Pete.
Chocobo. What is it?
Sturch.
A sturch?
Oh, the Sturch and carriages were taken by Master Lee Howe to the second North Pleasure District. We think that
Okay, we'll go
he has
there.
them stabled at the... Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And
Is there like a newspaper that makes its way around, like in the mornings of this place? Like, am I gonna
Someone
see
carry me.
like a Hogwarts style like motion of this little girl jumping out of a window, and like noble murdered in
You
bed?
can't tell it's me. I had my hood on.
so they'll show you to the House of Cherry Blossoms.
Carry me.
What?
Carry me.
Me want up.
Up. Up.
Wow.
Let's see, charisma is strength
We're
of will.
children. What do you want?
These are low-level officials. They sort of like look at each other. You don't know what they do to decide, but one of them
Like on their shoulders or something.
and like squats down.
Can I put Pete number 2 on top of their head?
He suffers that indignity with a slight more drooping of his shoulders. He has his cap pulled low. He's trying really hard not to be recognized. And the other officials, there are 3 of them, so the other 2 look very grateful that they don't have to suffer this shame.
You're next.
Yeah, you just yell,
It-
Every 30 feet I switch.
Wow.
So you eventually, after humiliating the poor people who were just sent to show you home, you eventually make it to the House of Cherry Blossoms, and Pete's comfortably stabled. It looks like he's been fed the best. Sturges are carnivorous, so I'm going to say the best, hair that they could find, and he's been groomed. And he looks very happy to see you.
I'm just gonna hang out with Pete and take a nap.
Okay. So that takes us to Bert, who is
Okay.
still in the Temple District.
It's in the morning, right?
Yeah.
All right,
And
so I walk out of my room. What?
Okay. And they're like, "Thank you for your donation. You may go in now." They look really uncomfortable around you.
And yeah, I poke him with the book. It's like, told you. And then I walk into the library, and basically I'm looking for any mention of Great Old Ones or Deep Ones, Outer Gods, anything like that. So I don't know what I have to roll for that. I guess Arcana or
It's just going to take time.
History. Okay.
So, on that note, we sort of have everyone in a safe place. We've resolved the madcap introduction to the city. You guys
Sorry, I
have
split the
certainly,
party.
you guys have certainly
Dan
told the
helped.
city of Xi'an that you are here. So what we'll do is we're going to take care of some of this downtime stuff off the air and just sort of let everyone know, all you guys listening. We'll let you know the results of it because, waiting around while Bert researches and
Not even
Kai
I can
recovers.
focus that.
it just doesn't make for good listening. So we're going to cut it here, and we will come back next week with another exciting adventure. For now, thanks for listening, and keep it chaotic.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.